There is no National Electrical Code, or NEC, requirement that limits the number of non-metallic sheet, or NM, cables that can be passed through a bored hole in wood studs. However, the NEC does require that holes through wood studs be plugged with an approved material, as detailed in section 300.8. This is a common misunderstanding in the field. There is no NEC requirement that prohibits data cables such as Category 3 and Category 5 from being installed in the same bored hole as NM or armored cable or AC cables. However, the NEC does recommend that data cables be kept separate from power cables to avoid interference. This recommendation can be found in section 800.133. This separation requirement for community antenna television, or CATV, cable outlined in sections 820.52, A2 and 820.133. A2 applies to situations where the CATV cable is run parallel to NM cable. It does not prohibit CATV cable from being installed through the same bored hole as NM cable, provided that the separation requirement is maintained. It's important to consult the most recent edition of the NEC and local amendments for the most accurate and up-to-date information. Remember that while the NEC provides minimum safety standards, it is crucial to follow manufacturers' instructions and industry best practices for all electrical installations. The NEC is not a design specification, and it's essential to consider factors beyond the code to ensure a safe and reliable electrical system. The code addresses fire safety, shock protection, and overcurrent protection, among other critical safety aspects. Understanding these fundamentals will help in making informed decisions about cable installations. Proper cable management is also key to ensuring long-term reliability and ease of maintenance. Cables should be supported and secured to prevent strain on connections and to protect them from physical damage. Cable ties, straps, and other approved support should be used to keep cables organized and out of the way. The NEC provides guidelines for cable support in various sections depending on the type of cable and the installation environment. When running cables through bored holes, it's important to ensure that the holes are properly sized to prevent damage to the cable insulation. The cable should fit snugly but not be pinched or compressed. If necessary, use grommets or bushings to protect the cables from sharp edges. Avoid running cables in areas where they could be exposed to excessive heat, moisture, or corrosive substances. These conditions can degrade the cable insulation and lead to electrical problems. If cables must be run in such areas, use cables that are specifically rated for those environments. Grounding and bonding are essential for electrical safety. All metallic components of the electrical system, including cable shields and enclosures, should be properly grounded to provide a low impedance path for fault current. This helps to prevent electrical shock and reduce the risk of fire. The NEC provides detailed requirements for grounding and bonding in Article 250. Surge protection is another important consideration, especially for sensitive electronic equipment. Surge protective devices, or SPDs, can help to protect equipment from damage caused by voltage spikes and surges. SPD should be installed at the service entrance and the branch circuits feeding sensitive equipment. The NEC provides requirements for surge protection in Article 280. Electrical inspections are an important part of ensuring that electrical installations are safe and code compliant. Before energizing a new electrical installation, it should be inspected by a qualified electrical inspector. The inspector will verify that the installation meets all applicable code requirements and that it is safe to operate. Regular maintenance is also essential for maintaining the safety and reliability of an electrical system. Electrical equipment should be inspected periodically for signs of wear, damage, or overheating. Loose connections should be tightened, and damaged components should be replaced promptly. The NEC requires that electrical equipment be maintained in good working order. Remember that electrical work can be dangerous, and it should only be performed by qualified individuals who are familiar with the NEC and safe work practices. If you are not qualified to perform electrical work, hire a licensed electrician. When working on electrical systems, always energize the circuit before starting work. Use a voltage tester to verify that the circuit is de-energized. Wear appropriate personal protective equipment, or PPE, such as safety glasses, gloves, and insulated tools. Be aware of your surroundings and take precautions to avoid electrical hazards. The NEC is a complex and comprehensive document, and it is constantly evolving to keep pace with new technologies and safety concerns. It is important to stay up to date on the latest code requirements and to consult with qualified professionals when necessary. Continuous education and training are essential for anyone who works with electrical systems. The NEC provides a framework for safe electrical installations, but it is up to individuals to apply that knowledge and to use good judgment in their work. By following the NEC and adhering to industry best practices, it is possible to create safe, reliable, and efficient electrical systems. When installing NM cable, be sure to protect it from physical damage. The NEC requires that NM cable be protected where it is exposed to physical damage, such as in attics, crawl spaces, and unfinished basements. Protection can be provided by running the cable through conduit or by using guard strips. When running cables through thermal insulation, be sure to use cables that are rated for the temperature of the insulation. Some types of insulation can get very hot, and they can damage the cable insulation if the cable is not properly rated. When installing data cables, be sure to follow the manufacturer's recommendations for cable bending radius. Bending cables too sharply can damage the conductors and impair signal transmission. Use cable ties or straps to support data cables and to keep them organized. Avoid running data cables in areas where they could be exposed to electromagnetic interference, or EMI. EMI can disrupt data transmission and cause errors. If data cables must be run in areas with EMI, use shielded cables. When installing CATV cable, be sure to use connectors that are compatible with the cable type. Use a crimping tool to properly attach the connectors to the cable. Test the cable after installation to verify that it is working properly. A cable tester can be used to check for shorts, opens, and other problems. Remember that electrical codes and standards are constantly evolving. Stay up to date on the latest requirements by attending training courses and by consulting with qualified professionals. By following these guidelines, you can help to ensure that electrical installations are safe, reliable, and code compliant. Always prioritize safety when working with electricity. If you are not comfortable performing electrical work, hire a licensed electrician. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, serves as a cornerstone for electrical safety in the United States, providing a comprehensive set of standards for electrical installations. The code is updated every 3 years to reflect advancements in technology, evolving safety concerns, and lessons learned from real-world incidents. Understanding and adhering to the NEC is crucial for electricians, contractors, and anyone involved in electrical work. It is essential to recognize that the NEC is not a design manual, but rather a set of minimum safety requirements. A qualified electrical designer will consider factors beyond the code to ensure a safe, reliable, and efficient electrical system. These factors may include load calculations, voltage drop, conductor sizing, overcurrent protection, and grounding. The NEC covers a wide range of topics including wiring methods, equipment installation, and special occupancies. It is divided into chapters, articles, and sections, each addressing specific aspects of electrical installations. The code uses a numbering system to organize the information, making it easier to locate specific requirements. For example, Article 250 covers grounding and bonding, while Article 300 addresses wiring methods. The NEC also includes tables and examples to illustrate specific requirements and to provide guidance for applying the code. The NEC is enforced by local authorities, such as building inspectors and electrical inspectors. These authorities are responsible for ensuring that electrical installations comply with the code. They may conduct inspections during the construction process and after the installation is complete. Failure to comply with the NEC can result in fines, delays, and even legal action. Therefore, it is essential to understand and follow the code carefully. The NEC is available for purchase from various sources, including the National Fire Protection Association, or NFPA, and online retailers. It is also available for reference at many libraries and electrical supply houses. The NEC is a complex and detailed document, and it can be challenging to understand all of the requirements. However, there are many resources available to help, including training courses, online forums, and technical publications. It is important to take advantage of these resources to stay up to date on the latest code requirements and to improve your understanding of electrical safety. In addition to the NEC, there may be local amendments or regulations that apply to electrical installations in a specific area. These amendments may be more stringent than the NEC requirements, and they must be followed. It is important to check with the local authorities to determine if there are any local amendments that apply to your project. The NEC is a living document that is constantly evolving to keep pace with new technologies and safety concerns. It is important to stay up to date on the latest code requirements and to adapt your practices accordingly. By following the NEC and adhering to industry best practices, you can help to ensure that electrical installations are safe, reliable, and code compliant. Remember that electrical work can be dangerous, and it should only be performed by qualified individuals who are familiar with the NEC and safe work practices. If you are not qualified to perform electrical work, hire a licensed electrician. The proper use of electrical tools and equipment is crucial for safety. Always use tools that are in good condition and that are appropriate for the task at hand. Follow the manufacturer's instructions for using the tools and equipment. Wear appropriate personal protective equipment, or PPE, such as safety glasses, gloves, and insulated tools. Be aware of your surroundings and take precautions to avoid electrical hazards. Lockout/tagout procedures are essential for preventing accidental energization of electrical circuits during maintenance or repair work. Before starting work on an electrical circuit, be sure to de-energize the circuit and to lock out and tag the circuit breaker or disconnect switch. This will prevent someone from accidentally turning on the circuit while you are working on it. Ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, are life-saving devices that protect against electrical shock. GFCIs are required in many locations such as bathrooms, kitchens, and outdoor areas. They detect ground faults and quickly interrupt the circuit to prevent electrical shock. Arc fault circuit interrupters, or FSIs, are devices that protect against electrical fires. FSIs detect arc faults, which are dangerous electrical conditions that can cause fires. FSIs are required in many locations, such as bedrooms and living rooms. Surge protection is important for protecting electronic equipment from damage caused by voltage spikes and surges. Surge protective devices, or SPDs, should be installed at the service entrance and at branch circuits feeding sensitive equipment. Proper wiring techniques are essential for electrical safety. Always use the correct wire size and type for the application. Make sure that all connections are tight and secure. Avoid overloading circuits. The NEC provides detailed requirements for wiring methods and conductor sizing. Electrical inspections are an important part of ensuring that electrical installations are safe and code compliant. Before energizing a new electrical installation, it should be inspected by a qualified electrical inspector. The inspector will verify that the installation meets all applicable code requirements and that it is safe to operate. Regular maintenance is also essential for maintaining the safety and reliability of an electrical system. Electrical equipment should be inspected periodically for signs of wear, damage, or overheating. Loose connections should be tightened, and damaged components should be replaced promptly. The NEC requires that electrical equipment be maintained in good working order. Always prioritize safety when working with electricity. If you are not comfortable performing electrical work, hire a licensed electrician.